Hello, my name is Hannah Brockway, and I did my final paper on reference service and how it remains relevant within libraries today. Um, so there were many aspects that I talked about in my paper. Um, the first was just simply talking about how the reference service is still valuable even in the age of the internet and Google, because not only are the questions asked at the reference desk much more complex than what can be simply Googled. The reference service serves to bridge the knowledge gap between the patrons and the knowledge that they're looking for. Reference librarians are trained and they went to school to know how to find certain sources, certain materials that many patrons wouldn't be able to find even if they, knew exactly how to use a computer. I talked about how the reference service stays relevant through the research that it does, conducting case studies, surveys, and using these studies to better the reference service, introducing new technologies, new strategies, to always remain relevant and keep up with the changing times. Finally, I did talk about how the different philosophies of reference make it relevant, because not only does it make it so that each library has its own philosophy with its reference desk, making it adaptable, making sure that it follows the goals of that library. It just makes the reference desk that much more important to the library, as it serves as part of the goal of the library itself. So then I talked about philosophies of reference. This is the main goal, mission statement that the reference service is trying to get to as part of the library. The librarians and the leadership within the library get to actually, come up with this goal that's going to be part of the library itself. What is the service desk going to accomplish within the library? And because there's so many different philosophies and so many different libraries, academic, special libraries, public libraries, it makes the reference desk a really key part of the library and from each library to library. One of the philosophies that I found was teaching. Many libraries have this as their number one with the reference desk. They want patrons to be actively a part of the search, ask the patron follow-up questions, make sure they're part of the research, know what's going on as you're finding them their information. Through this, the reference librarian can teach useful skills. It's one thing to just show a patron, this is what you're looking for, you're good to go. It's another thing to say, if you want to do this again, here's the database that I use, and here's how you can find, our different resources, so that in their future, education or their career, they know these things and they can go to the library and they can use these skills. I actually found many studies that evaluated the reference desk and how it was able to teach students most of the time, or even just patrons in a public library. One of these studies was at the University of Michigan library, and it interviewed students who used the reference service and asked them to create their own learning objectives that they wanted to accomplish, and then asked them to assess the service that they received. And almost every student said that they had learned something that made the quality of their current project better, but also that they could use in their future. And the librarians also confirmed that they felt that they had succeeded in introducing new concepts and skills to the students. There were very many studies that I found, some spanning multiple semesters in a school library, and there was even a study that I found that spanned 30 years of research in a public library reference desk, showing how the goals of the reference desk were being met. Communication was definitely another big philosophy that came up. the library is meant to be more than just a place to find books and information. You know, it's a hub of the community where people work together, collaborate. The reference desk is meant to be part of this, you know, where people can come and have their, not only just like their problems met, but it's two people working together to find the answers, and the goal is to help each other through communication and understanding. And then finally, one big important part of the reference desk is equal access. Um, any person with any technical background, education level, language barrier, whatever, can use the reference service, which provides them with equal access. Because even if they can't use the tools at the library, there is somebody there who can provide that information for them. And that's definitely one of the biggest goals in the library, is to make sure that any person has equal access to the information and the resources at the library.